Good evening, happy Hanukkah! This is the second night of Hanukkah, Chag Sameach, happy Hanukkah everybody. We are celebrating the victory of the Maccabee who fought the big Syrian Greek army, who said, "Not on my watch, we are taking back our land." When they entered the holiest of the holies, the temple, they found out it was defiled. There was just a little bit of oil left, so they needed to make some new and pure oil, and that took 8 days. So the tiny little bit of oil that was left lasted for 8 days. God did a mighty miracle for the Jewish people. Today is a special day also. In 1947, the United Nations voted for the establishment of what became modern-day Israel. It was a glorious day. It was a day that fulfilled prophecies because the Jewish people have had a connection to this land for more than 3,000 years. That is what the Palestinians are trying to erase. That is why they went ballistic yesterday when the president of Israel went to Hebron to lit the first Hanukkah candle in the cave of the patriarch where the Jewish forefathers were buried. And they went ballistic because they don't have a narrative, they don't have a story. They are trying to steal the Jewish one, which is ludicrous. So happy Hanukkah. The Jewish people are home. We know the history since 1948, how the Jewish people have fought for survival many times, being attacked by their neighbors. But with the grace of God and with the help of God, the Jewish people are home in their God-given homelands. Today I made a video of a group of young people who was walking down through the main street in Jerusalem, singing and dancing and waving the Jewish flag, the Israeli flag. If you haven't seen that video, go and find it on all my social media. I literally got a lump in my throat. I got tears in my eyes, and I was saying, God, you are so good. God, you are so faithful to Israel and to your people. Every time I am opening the scriptures, what am I reading about? All the forefathers, they were all part of this nation. They were all part of this nation. The mighty nation of Israel, the nation that God created as the homeland for his people. Why didn't God choose mighty Russia or China or America? You know, like one of these big nations who can take care of themselves as his holy land. Why did he take this tiny little nation stuck in the Middle East, surrounded by enemies? That is living proof that when it comes to Israel, it's all about God. God and Israel are inseparable because the things that happen here are proof that God exists, that God is faithful, that God is with his people. This tiny little nation is now a superpower. Israel is the front door to the rest of the world. Whatever happens in Israel always affects the rest of this world. Why is it that we have world leaders who is flying in on and off to come to this nation and tell Israel what is their capital and not their capital, where Israel can build and not build, or America just condemned Israel now because they want to build out in East Jerusalem, telling Israel you can't build there because that's supposed to be part of a Palestinian state, when the Palestinians don't want a two-state solution. They want all of Israel to become a Palestinian state. Israel is strong, Israel is thriving, Israel is prosperous. Israel is a product of God's will and of God's love. And I am honored and beyond happy, grateful and blessed that I have been able to be girly boots on the ground, living here in Jerusalem, arriving with one suitcase on a tourist visa many years ago, stepped out in faith because God said, go. Will you go? I didn't have answer for anything. Through this entire time, I've been on my own, working by myself, made more than 500 videos on my YouTube channel, Jerusalem Jane, more videos on Israel One Nation, my Facebook page, standing up for Israel, just trying to make a difference, trying to tell the truth out of this nation. Some of you have followed me for years, you know all about me. Some of you have joined recently. Welcome. Thank you for standing with me. Thank you for being the hands, lifting my hands. This year, I need a Hanukkah miracle. I am walking out that door on December 31st after 5 years, which has been difficult years with me, with several injuries and death threats and wheelchairs and broken feet. I need to close the door, not just to this apartment, but to this whole chapter in my life, and breathe in a new home. Will you help me? Are you one of those who is benefiting from me being blessed of who I am and what I'm doing? This is where I need you. Gofundme tells my whole story. You can read everything, learn everything about me. There's a long way yet to reach the goal of that Gofundme. There is a PayPal, there is a tax-deductible donation platform in America. For this time, I need you to fulfill my Hanukkah miracle of entering 2022 in a new and also a safe home for me in Israel. Chag Sameach, Happy Hanukkah, enjoy the lights.